normally do. Y'all with me? And it was good for us to tell you the truth, because when I stepped back in the head biggest game and I haven't been there, it brought back so much memory.
Y'all don't even know Calvin for CCO. I know Calvin, you know what I mean? I don't know.
The process to overturn the majority draw between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. is now underway, sparking an unexpected rift between Tank and his longtime coach, Calvin Ford. Tension escalated, especially after the events that unfolded in his corner during the fight. Tank's performance against Roach was chaotic, and the controversial result reflected that. Now, with Calvin Ford's departure making headlines, the WBA lightweight champion has finally responded, saying this:
when we first started off, and him seeing all us working together, he was happy. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Coach Calvin Ford's response came shortly after Lamont Roach Jr.'s team and the New York State Athletic Commission announced they were considering overturning the fight's result. According to Dan Raphael of Fight Freaks Unite, Roach Jr.'s lawyer, Greg Smith, sent a 4-page letter to the commission's executive director, urging them to change the majority draw to a win for Roach Jr. On Monday, the commission released a statement confirming they are reviewing referee Steve Willis's controversial call in the 9th round. They also cited technical difficulties as the reason they couldn't immediately review the decision.
Slow down on worrying about you, because boom, he knows that I spend time with my amateurs. You know me, both of y'all know me very well.
Yeah.
Don't I spend time with my amateurs?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. That's my piece. And he know when I...
During the fight, Davis took a knee after Roach Jr. landed a punch and then went to his corner to have his face wiped. Referee Steve Willis initially began counting, as if ruling it a knockdown, but ultimately let the fight continue. Now, the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the incident from Saturday's bout between Lamont Roach Jr. and Gervonta Davis. In a statement, the commission explained that due to a technical issue, they were unable to receive the replay footage in time. As a result, they had to rely on the referee's in-ring decision, allowing the fight to proceed.
I don't know, did y'all see me in the ring tell him to keep counting? he started counting. I was like, why you stop? Like, keep counting. But
the commission emphasized its commitment to maintaining the integrity of combat sports and working with promotions and production teams to prevent future technical issues that could disrupt the review process. Lamont Roach Jr., the WBA junior lightweight champion, faced Gervonta Davis for his WBA lightweight title on Saturday at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. If referee Steve Willis had officially ruled Davis's knee as a knockdown and the judges had scored the round 10-8 for Roach Jr., he would have won by unanimous decision. Instead, Eric Malinsky scored the fight 115-113 for Davis, while Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both had it 114-114, resulting in a majority draw.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. But I can't go back and change it, so...
Lamont,
Feldman and Malinsky scored the 9th round for Davis, while Weisfeld gave it to Roach Jr. Although protests rarely result in overturned decisions in boxing, this case might be an exception. The controversy has also sparked questions about the relationship between Gervonta Davis and his longtime coach, Calvin Ford. Just 6 weeks before the fight, Davis stated, "I got Calvin tattooed on me. Calvin ain't going nowhere. Calvin is Pops. He ain't going anywhere." However, Ford was noticeably absent from Tank's corner this time. As a result, the 30-year-old may have paid the price, ending up with the first non-victory of his career.
I know where he was at, because it was something that we didn't do. It's something that we normally do. Y'all with me? And it was good for us to tell you the truth.
While Davis expected to have Ford in his corner on March 1st, the veteran coach had his own reasons for stepping away from this particular fight. Now, with the possibility of his draw against Roach Jr. being overturned to a loss, Calvin Ford has officially left Davis's team. For years, fans were used to seeing the familiar duo of Ford and Kenny Ellis in Tank's corner, much like the legendary partnerships of Mike Tyson and Cus D'Amato, Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, or even Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach. Their chemistry was undeniable, but instead of that familiar trio, fans saw Barry Hunter coaching Davis, a change many weren't expecting or hoping to see.
So everything is good with Calvin because it's the first
Yeah,
time
for
he's not
sure.
the head trainer in a while.
Yeah, for sure. Calvin, again, I said Calvin's my.
Many are wondering what led to this change. Speaking with Fight Hub TVS, Calvin Ford shared his perspective. Davis headlined his second PBC Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view event at the Barclays Center, which also featured an action-packed undercard, including 2 light welterweight title fights. Like many, Ford was eager to see how Tank's training would translate in the ring. He recalled how Davis from Baltimore and Roach from DC had sparred frequently in the past, and respected Roach's dedication, seeing this fight as a great opportunity for him. Addressing speculation, Ford clarified, "Maybe people are misreading the situation. We ain't changing up anything." He explained that he simply took a step back, but the training structure remained intact. The reporter also emphasized that there was no breakup or falling out between Ford and Gervonta Davis.
He will always be around. You know what I mean? So, that's pop. Like I said. So yeah.
People were curious whether the temporary separation between Davis and Ford actually strengthened their bond, like family members who spend time apart and then appreciate each other more when they reunite. Ford responded, "No, he came to see me, slowed down, and was worrying about me because, boom, he knows I spend time with my amateurs. Both of y'all know me very well. I spend time with my amateurs all the time. That's my piece." Even though he wasn't directly training Davis, Ford felt reassured knowing Tank was still focused and putting in the work. He admitted that the time apart made them both appreciate their bond more. When Ford returned to the gym, he could tell Davis had missed him, just like he had missed Tank. Barry Hunter also shared a similar perspective, reinforcing that the connection between them remained strong.
I would be there. It's without me, without Calvin, it wouldn't be no me. You know what I mean? Because at first, when I came into the
Barry. Hunter reassured everyone that the coaching team remains intact, saying Calvin will be there, Coach Barry will be there, Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there as well. While Ford and Ellis won't be in Tank's corner for now, Hunter made it clear that their presence and support haven't gone anywhere. Hunter also reminded fans that this isn't the first time Davis's corner has seen adjustments. Having him worked with Tank since his amateur days, Hunter is no stranger to his team. Like Ford, he pointed out that misinformation spreads quickly online, and many people jump to conclusions without knowing the full story. He emphasized that Davis is like family, reassuring fans that this appears to be a temporary shakeup, one that could return to the usual setup once Davis comes back after a few months.
At DC, they call me Mo. Calvin is Calvin. You know what I mean? I got Calvin.
Gervonta Davis's habit of starting slow almost cost him on Saturday night. His WBA lightweight title defense against Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a majority draw, leaving the sold-out crowd of 19,250 at Barclays Center in Brooklyn shocked. While Davis held onto his belt, it was a fight he'll likely want to move past. Quickly. Two judges scored the fight 114-114, while the third judge had it 115-113 in Davis's favor. ESPN also scored the bout a 114-114 draw.
My own lies, but I went back and I watched it, and shit, Tank lost that fight, period. And that's even without the knockdown, he lost.
Lamont is a great fighter, Davis said after the fight. He's got skills, like I said before, and he's got punching power. It was a lesson, hopefully, if we can run it back. One of the most bizarre moments of the fight came in the 9th round when Davis unexpectedly took a knee after a jab from Roach. However, referee Steve Willis chose not to rule it a knockdown. Davis later explained that grease from his hair got into his eye, causing him to go down. The fight continued without any penalty, but had the knockdown been counted, it could have tipped the fight in Roach's favor.
The fight, yeah, just didn't do enough work. I thought that I thought that Roach's game plan was.
If the knockdown had been counted, Roach could have won the 9th round with a 10-8 score. Instead, 2 judges scored it 10-9 in Davis's favor. Explaining the moment, Davis said, "I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in it. When I was sweating, it got in my eyes and burned." While Roach didn't dispute Davis's explanation, he stood by the rules. "If you take a knee and the ref starts counting, it should be a knockdown," Roach said. "If that was counted, I win the fight, but I'm not relying on that. I just thought I did enough to get the win." Davis entered the fight as a heavy favorite, with many expecting him to secure his 29th career knockout by stopping Roach, who was making his lightweight debut. Backed by a pro-Davis crowd, Tank was unable to deliver the highlight reel finish fans have come to expect from the Baltimore native. Instead, Roach held his ground, absorbed Davis's power shots, and fired back with punches that not only caught Davis off guard, but also shocked the crowd. Known for his patient approach, Davis started slow, waiting for Roach to make a mistake he could exploit.
Start there too. I feel like Lamont definitely won. All right, G. I feel like Lamont Roach won. I definitely feel like Lamont Roach won. But a draw, like, I mean, it is what it is type shit, you know? I ain't hating on the decision.
But Roach refused to give Davis the opening he needed to counter and kept pressing the action. Davis initially smiled and exchanged words with Roach early in the fight, but as the rounds went on, he was forced to get serious upon realizing his opponent wouldn't fold under the pressure. Roach Jr., 29, had previously faced Davis in the amateurs and came up short, but this time he proved he belonged on the big stage. Their careers took different paths after turning pro. Davis became one of boxing's biggest stars, while Roach built a reputation as a solid fighter, though he fell short in his only other world title opportunity, losing to Jamel Herring for the WBO super featherweight belt in 2019. Davis's rise to stardom was cemented by his knockout victory over Ryan Garcia in 2023, a win that solidified his claim as the face of boxing. However, his underwhelming performance against Roach nearly cost him that status. Their past encounters may have given Davis a false sense of security, but Roach was fully prepared for everything Tank brought, including his devastating knockouts, power, By the middle rounds, Davis's grin faded as he realized the knockout he anticipated wouldn't come easily. The champion began letting his hands go, looking to create openings, but Roach stood firm, responding with sharp counters and well-timed combinations. Davis focused heavily on body shots, hammering away as Roach pressed forward undeterred. Whenever Davis's assault slowed, Roach seized the opportunity to land counters. In the 8th round, Roach stunned Davis with a counter right hand. Though Davis was never in serious trouble, the moment served as a reminder that he couldn't afford to be reckless. I felt like I was breaking him down as the rounds went on, but he kept coming, so I didn't want to make any mistakes, Davis admitted. I kept it cautious.
It was a great event. Great event. It was a great fight. They put in a fantastic performance. Both of them did, for real. Both of them really did put in a fantastic performance. It was a great fight, you know? All that good stuff. You know.
Realizing the fight might be slipping away, the 30-year-old Davis pressed the action in the championship rounds. While he connected with some big power shots, he never seriously hurt Roach. However, his increased activity was enough to secure the final 2 rounds on all 3 scorecards, salvaging a draw and retaining his title. In a measured performance, Davis landed 103 of 279 punches, while the more active Roach connected on 112 of 400 thrown.
He just did. We got off the canvas once. It ain't about the dub with me. It's about you got that will.
I'm just a little disappointed in the decision, Roach said. I thought I pulled it out, but that's what two skilled fighters do. I definitely thought I won, but we could run it back, even though I didn't. Win tonight? I thought I did, but it's a win for me in my book. We are not satisfied with that. We need a real W. Meanwhile, the long-standing partnership between Gervonta Davis and trainer Calvin Ford has officially come to an end after more than a decade together. Ford confirmed the split, citing several external factors that contributed to the decision. While speculation about their separation had been circulating for weeks, Davis had remained silent on the matter until now.
Yeah, he already seen it.
He said, I can't
That's
get
the
hit.
difference. And Tank was holding the conversation. Tank said, yo, how about Tank can't, every fight Tank come tell me, I'm gonna knock him out.
In breaking his silence, Davis shifted the narrative slightly, making it clear that the split with Calvin Ford wasn't just about Ford's decisions, but also about an issue involving Leonard Ellerbay ever. Since Ellerbay left Mayweather Promotions, he no longer had to remain neutral between Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Following his departure, Ellerbay has focused all his attention on Davis, playing a bigger role in his career. However, while Ellerbay's involvement may seem beneficial, Ford reportedly believes that many of Davis's questionable decisions can be traced back to Ellerbay's influence.
When I talk to him, I'm not talking to little Tank anymore. I'm talking to the grown man Tank. For being with him for so many years, it's amazing.
Calvin Ford hasn't been entirely comfortable with Leonard Ellerbay's relentless presence. Previously, the team of Gervonta Davis, Ford, and Kenny Ellis was inseparable, even under the Mayweather Promotions banner, so much so that Floyd Mayweather Jr. himself had to respect their unity. However, since parting ways with Mayweather, Promotions and with Ellerbay becoming more involved, their once solid bond has faced growing tension. Gervonta Davis's camp believes that Leonard Ellerbay has been manipulating him into making poor career decisions. According to Davis, his entire team disapproves of his close association with Ellerbay, viewing him as someone who aligns himself with whoever is most profitable. They argue that Ellerbay was loyal to Floyd Mayweather when he benefited from him. But once those opportunities dried up, he shifted his focus to Davis. This perception of Ellerbay's opportunism has caused friction within Davis's camp, leading to the eventual fallout and the shocking dismissal of his longtime coach, Calvin Ford.
We're saying it's a big fight.
Right.
And Tank's gonna get every last one of these guys y'all want him to get. He just can't get them all in one night.
Did you see what he tweeted at Shakur?
No, I
He
did.
said,
Leonard Ellerbay played a crucial role in Mayweather Promotions, overseeing its growth and promoting some of the biggest fights in boxing history, including Mayweather vs. Pacquiao. He also helped shape Gervonta Davis's career, turning him into a pay-per-view star. Even after being dismissed by Floyd Mayweather, Ellerbay remained involved in Davis's career, promoting his fight with Frank Martin on Saturday. Since parting ways with Mayweather Promotions in 2022, Davis has faced top-tier opponents like Rolando, Romero, Hector Luis Garcia, Ryan Garcia, and Frank Martin, some of the biggest names in the lightweight division. Given his success, many believe leaving his former mentor was the right decision for his career, including boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult. However, the tension between Davis and Mayweather has only escalated in recent months, with both taking shots at each other on social media. After Gervonta Davis's latest fight against Frank Martin and Leonard Ellerbay's departure from Mayweather Promotions, a well-known boxing commentator on YouTube explained why Davis leaving Mayweather was the best decision for his career. In a recent short clip titled "Tank Davis Leaving Floyd Was the Best Thing for His Career," the commentator broke down why the split ultimately benefited Davis. At first glance, it might seem counterintuitive. After all, Mayweather is one of the biggest names in boxing. However, the commentator pointed out that Mayweather thinks like money first, suggesting that his business-first mentality may not have always aligned with Davis's best interests. Interestingly, much of the situation was foreshadowed followed by Calvin Ford before Davis's fight with Frank Martin. While Davis was absent from the media workout, Ford spoke on his behalf, unknowingly predicting the internal conflicts that have now fully unfolded between him and Davis.
Oh, watching them in camp, it scares me. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that he's doing and his maturity of, how would you...
Now, we understand why Calvin Ford previously said, watching him in camp, it scares me because of the things he's doing and his maturity. When he gets in that ring, he'll hurt Frank Martin. Ford had witnessed Davis's focus firsthand, noting how he listens carefully to conversations and remains locked in. Speaking to Fight Hype, Ford later urged people not to read too much into the situation. However, given everything that has unfolded between Davis, Ford, and Leonard Ellerbe, it's clear that tensions had been building behind the scenes for some time.
A press conference. Let's look at history. Let's look at stats.
For sure.
So, again, but how many times y'all came here, y'all? He did. One time he did show up.
I want to apologize to the fans, Ford said, dampening the excitement that had built for over 90 minutes while waiting for Davis. He can't make it at this moment because he's been delayed, but he's gonna make it up to y'all on fight night. Trust what I'm saying to y'all. You want to see this performance he's going to put on. Addressing the concerns surrounding Davis's absence, Ford reminded fans of his fighter's unpredictability. How long y'all been knowing Tank, man? I used to do the same thing y'all do. I stopped doing it. Let him just do what he does. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes Tank. I don't know how his body is, sometimes y'all gotta go to work. Do y'all feel like it all the time? Despite the uncertainty when asked if Davis would make the press conference, Ford remained hopeful.
And for the fans, who do the conspiracy theory, there's no concerns,
No, we great.
Yep.
We great. Trust me. Y'all want y'all guy to come out, put on that show for y'all. Trust me.
I've never seen Tank miss a press conference. Let's look at history. Let's look at the stats, Ford said, addressing concerns over Davis's absence. Finally, Ford sent a warning to Frank Martin on behalf of his absent fighter, making it clear that Davis was ready for business. We're back in business. We've been waiting for this for a while, Ford stated about Davis's return after a 14-month layoff. We want to put on a great performance. We want to put on a great performance for the fans at the end of the day. Ani. Truly, Gervonta Tank Davis has been making waves, and it's not just Calvin Ford who has taken notice. Even Floyd Mayweather and Devin Haney have acknowledged the danger he brings to the ring. That's all for now. Stay tuned for the very best updates on the latest boxing news.